on, guys? Electron Man. Well, we got a fun one today we're working on. I bought a 70 amp power supply at the Hamfest, an Astron 70 amp power supply, and anyway, I knew it had been messed with, but I got inside of it and definitely been messed with more than a lot, and I actually found up some blown up components in it. It was still functioning, but it definitely needed some Electron Man care. So anyway, I'll bring you along on this. Let me go ahead and show you what we got and what my plans are for it. Okay, as you can see, it's an Astron 70 amp power supply. Somebody had decided to put a voltmeter on it, which I'm not opposed to that at all. I'm not real impressed with the hot glue and the way it was done. We're going to definitely fix that. We're going to cut it out, and we're going to go ahead and put this one in place of it, and this one actually does amps and voltage. If I'm going to put a meter on it, might as well have an amp meter too. Here's the shunt I'm going to use, which the shunt is part of the meter, so you can't run 70 amps through that meter, but you can run 100 amps through the shunt, and the meter will register at a lower voltage. I've already got the shunt. I printed out this 3D platform for it. It doesn't come with this little 3D platform because my intentions are I'm going to mount it like right here on top of that transformer with some double-sided tape. It shouldn't have any problem with that. I'm sure not going to screw it into the transformer, but that's kind of the cleanest place to put it that I can see. Is like right there, and it's not going to be setting upside down, so gravity alone is going to keep this stable. It's pretty heavy, but anyway, that's what I'm going to put the shunt at, and then I'm going to put the meter here. And as you can see, this power supply it probably got blown up at one time and it was reworked somewhat. You got this negative wire over here, which I'm assuming maybe the original wire got burned out. Whatever. We're going to replace that. We'll probably put some 10 gauge in there and definitely some better connectors on it, some good copper connectors, etc. We'll clean all that up, and I don't even care for the way this is. I'll see if I can't bolt that on there. I think that would be better than the way it's soldered on there. I'm not even sure what the green wire does. Oh, it's for his meter. Okay, which that's fine. That's fine for his meter, for my meter. Over here, take a close look at this. We got a transistor that's completely blown out. Looks like the little filtering cap on the top of it's blown out. I mean, it's just blown completely to pieces. I did find the schematic on it, and basically this did what it was supposed to. It's basically a short circuit protection, and what happens is it shorts the transistor out, which senses it to drop voltage. At the same time, it shorts the fuse out to the power supply. Surprisingly, which well, it's not surprising now that I see how the circuit works, but since it blew in two pieces like that, they put a new fuse in it, and it came back up and working, and they just never went back and fixed this. Funny thing on the schematic is you know, I would think this should be hooked up to a heat sink, but it's not. And I'm not even sure why it's got a nut and a bolt on it, but it doesn't have any heat sink grease on it that I can see. So it was probably free floating all along, because really it's not designed to take current. It's designed to sense short and blow up, basically. Short out and cause the fuse to blow. They also modified the fan to where it's just an on-off fan, so you either have to have it on or off, which they just routed around the thermal protection here, or the thermometer, or rheostat, whatever you want to call it. It's the control for the fan. It comes on at 190, and then of course when it cools under 190 it turns off. Well, I like the idea of an auto fan, so I'm going to go back to the auto fan. Since it's already got a hole in the case, I might go ahead and route it to where, if I know I'm going to be using it heavy, I can turn the fan over and override it. But this is like opposite. This is off or on. I definitely still want to utilize the thermostat built into the heat sink to turn the fan on automatically, and then it'll just be an override if for whatever reason I want to let it run longer, or you know, maybe it's hot in here and I'm running it hard and I just want to turn the fan on continuous. That's fine, but the way it is now is not going to work. Anyway, let me get to work on it, and I'll come back and show you what all I've done. I'm not going to sit here and try to video me doing it. I just wanted to give you a beforehand of what we're looking at, and then I'll give you an after product after I've got it all rewired, get the new transistor. And I actually ordered the new transistor from Astron, and it's like $10. It wasn't too bad, but we'll go ahead and get the new transistor installed in there, and get this fan routed right with a thermostat running, and get this shunt in there, as well as get this meter mounted. So I got a lot to do here and peel all this hot glue off here and actually do this the right way. Anyway, guys, I will be back. Well, guys, here we are. We're still working on it. I just thought I'd give you an update. As usual, it seems like things always turn into more work than you plan on. Anyway, I'll give you an update here. We got our new Crowbar transistor all installed back where it should be. I don't know if it really needed a heat sink or not. I don't know if it did in factory, but I prefer it that way. Obviously, I insulated it and got it all nice and neat in there now. I just don't like something hanging around in there. As you can see, I've got my whole circuit wired up here. I got my crowbar hooked up. Or no, I got my shunt for my 100 amp meter installed here. Cleaned up all the wiring on it. Ran into some other wiring, some more melted wires, some just crazy stuff that went on in here. I'm not sure who was working on it or what, but definitely needed some cleaning up. Obviously, I've got my this is my fan thermal control right here. I've got it rewired back into where it'll come on when it gets to 190 degrees, as it did in the factory. Those that are watching close, the only thing that's probably I'm not happy about is this red wire here. I ran out of my 10 gauge silicone black that I typically would use, so I had to use a red piece that's actually on the negative side of it. But I'm probably the only one that's ever going to be in here, and hopefully anybody that would get in here is competent enough to understand that it is a negative wire in red. Not my favorite, but as you can see, I use nice copper cut hunk downs. As you can see, here's my 3D printed holder for my shunt. I got it just double-sided here. It's not going anywhere. I use some good 3M tape, and it's going to be vertical anyway. As you can see, I've got my front connections rewired here. I now have a nice meter that I cut out neatly and have it mounted in there with the top on it. It will look really good. As you can see, it's reading 13.8 volts. Nice and stable. And if we take a look at the meter here, whoops, you can see I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see that. By the way, I have replaced this with my Fluke. I've got a couple Flukes, and this thing is freaking amazing meter. It's also an oscilloscope, but 30 megahertz, I believe it is. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off onto that. But the sensitivity and the thousandths that it goes to on this scale is just amazing. Very accurate reading. Anyway, but as you can see, I've got 13.8.6 there, and I've got 13.8 on my meter on the front. So I got that pretty close calibrated. As well, I can look at the oscilloscope here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we got 13 volts, nice clean wave. Nice and pretty there. So we're good on the DC side of things. Looks clean. And then as well, we have the amp meter working. I'm just using a 50 watt bulb to test this, but I'll turn it on. And it's showing 400 to 500 milliamps, which is about right. The one thing I don't like about this meter I got is it doesn't have any way to trim or calibrate. It has for the voltage, but it doesn't have a trim for the amperage. I think it needs to be up about another 100 milliamps, but for what I'm using it for, it's going to be close enough. I might see if I can find a more accurate meter than that, or one that I can at least calibrate, but for what I'm doing, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, it's better than what it had with hot glued in there, and it's very accurate on the voltage, and pretty accurate on the amperage. Close enough, at least you know. I mean, I'm not using it as a test deal. It's going to hook up my amateur radio equipment, so it should be more than close enough. As you can see, I've cleaned up everything in here. I'm going to go ahead and wire tie everything up, pretty it up a little bit more. It's had a lot of work done to it. It needed some help for sure, but she's definitely back up and running. And as you can see, I'm pulling current on it, and I checked my crowbar circuit is working good. So we're just about done with this guy. Anyway, I'll come back and show you a final of it cleaned up, and then I'll show you a final when it all put back together. There you go, guys. All cleaned up, wire tied back, looking pretty. Checked every single transistor, checked all my diodes for my bridge rectifier circuit. Obviously I got the crowbar circuit rebuilt, cleaned all the wiring up, fixed this front thing, which by the way I found out that that front thing was something somebody added, and they did it all wrong. They tied off to the bar down there on one side of the circuit, which is totally incorrect. Not sure what they were thinking. Maybe that's what blew it up, who knows. But we cleaned all that up, got it all back to the main power. If you're going to have front ones, at least have it set up right. Put all new good silicone wire in here, as I said before. Nice clean inspection. I'm not seeing anything that looks out of place or loose. I think we're good to go. We do have one connector down there. Oh, okay, it's grounded. It's grounded to the case. Never mind. Okay. Well, let me put the cover on and you'll get a final look at her. This project is all but done. There you go, guys. One repaired and restored Astron, what is it? I think it's a RS70A. Included with the new meter, the amp gauge, and the voltage, which is kind of nice. I would have centered it, but whoever cut it before, I had to kind of cut where it made sense. But at least it's in there right. It's cut nicely, and it fits nice. It looks good. It actually kind of centers up between those posts that they added in the switch. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this series, or not series. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. One last look at her. Well, that was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to fix a crowbar circuit, but I ended up having to do a whole bunch of rewiring and cleaning up, a bunch of knick-knack stuff. I wanted it to be right. I'm going to use it myself, so I wanted everything to be nice and straight on it, and wanted to test everything out. I've tested loads on it. Appears to be functioning perfectly. The crowbar works right now, so we're good to go. Here's just kind of some of the stuff that came out of it, including the main culprit, this blown up to the smithereens. I don't know if you can see that or not. Man, that baby took some voltage, as well as all this other mass switches and stuff that didn't need to be belonging there. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. As always, subscribe, hit that button down there if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up, and have a great day. This is the Electron Man.